No.
Mr. Renahan, can you hear us?
I don't see town hall. Does anybody else? No?
I just see town of Poughkeepsie, it says there, so I think that's them.
Oh,
Somebody's mirror up.
We're not.
Yeah, it's looking at the ceiling at the moment.
Yeah, picture of the ceiling.
Yeah, you see the ceiling light?
We're not on there.
This is not right, so I don't know what to tell you.
Oh,
I
hear
hear
him.
him.
On the zoning board and it wasn't done right then.
Get
thought I just
closer.
heard Bill.
They're looking at our ceiling. Can we adjust the
Yeah, well,
camera?
yes, because it's
It's the one
Oh.
that she has on her
Felicia.
desk.
Felicia.
Ah, there you are.
But can they
Yeah,
hear
but
us?
that's
Can you
not
hear
what
us,
it
though?
should
Yes, we can hear you, but all we see is Felicia. Can you hear us?
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
it's set up a little different type Zoom instead of Zoom
Oh.
room, so we're gonna have to do it a little
be.
differently.
Yeah, it was stuck in the same
Okay.
things from the zoning
Alright.
board.
Welcome, everybody, to the August 19th Town Board meeting. Please rise for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag
United States of America, to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Jeff Renahan, First Ward.
Bill Carlos, second ward.
Jessica Lopez, third ward.
Michael Safone, Fourth Ward?
Matthew Woolover, Fifth Ward.
Ann Church, Sixth Ward.
Felicia Salvatore, town clerk.
Jim Nelson, attorney for the town.
John Bailey, Town Supervisor. Welcome, everybody. Tonight's agenda is not too long. This is a regular meeting and a committee of the whole meeting. As far as agenda items, number one, is accept the retirement of Police Officer Michael A. Laux. 2, resolution, Town Code Amendments, Chapter 210-125 and 210-125.1. 3, authorize water bill credit to Margaret Boncuro. 4, authorize Eastdale Transportation Corp. grease traps. 5, retain attorney David Cooper for Vassar College Conference Center. 6, authorize the supervisor to sign Underhill Solar Farm decommissioning bond. 7, accept the retirement of Tom Meyering in the Recreation Department. 8, a resolution for Solar for All campaign. 9, award bid for a SCADA system at Arlington Wastewater Treatment Plant. 10, authorize the supervisor to sign New York State DOT Multimodal Program Capital Project Agreement, roadways, traffic lights on Route 44. 11, adopt the LGS 1 retention and disposition schedule for New York local government records. 12, notification Town of Poughkeepsie Historical Site application of Williams Hall at Vassar. 13, authorize Civic Plus website agreement. 14, accept certificates of attendance of Nicole Giamatti and Ben Paganelli from the planning board. 15, notification claims for the legal Chan versus the town and Humiston Shutter versus the town. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules for any item on the agenda.
Second?
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Is there anybody that would like to discuss any item on the agenda? Susan?
Thank you very much, Jay. For those of you that don't know me, I'm here tonight as chair of the Climate Smart Task Force. You guys are going to be hearing a resolution in a little while that Ann Shershen's going to present, and I just wanted to talk to you about it for a moment. It's a resolution for a solar campaign in the town, and while the resolution is not formally required to proceed with the project, we really wanted to have your support on it. I want everyone here to know that this campaign, the solar campaign, is very strongly and unanimously supported by the members of the task force. It's an action that will bring us points towards our initial Climate Smart certification by helping to green the community, but it's also going to have an impact on making housing more affordable. And we feel it's very clear that these are both goals that are very important to the town residents. In addition, I would ask you to please consider when you hear her information that we were approached by Cornell Cooperative Extension to do this project as a pilot project with them, first in the state, and that this will put the town in a leadership position on this front. So on behalf of the residents, the constituents, and the taxpayers, I want to say that we really want to be proud of our town. We want to take steps to preserve a livable climate for our children, for your children, for all of our children. And we also want to do that in a way that will be part of a just transition to renewable energy. And the action we're proposing to take meets all of those criteria. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else who would like to discuss any item on the agenda? No, not motion to resume the rules?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Ranahan?
Okay, be it resolved that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby accept with regret the retirement of Michael A. Locks, police officer with the town of Poughkeepsie Police Department effective September 10th, 2020. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions on this one? Wish him best of luck on his retirement. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Resolution 2, whereas the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie by amended resolution 85-1 of 2020 conditionally adopted a local law amending the town code chapter 210-125 regarding signage in several zoning districts. And whereas by reason of the Dutchess County Department of Planning and Development, August 7th, 2020, recommendation that the amendment not be adopted unless certain modifications were made. The local law amendments were not adopted. And whereas the town, with the assistance of its Director of Development, has considered all of the county's recommendations and has included some of them as further amendments to the local law, but it has not included others. Now therefore be it enacted that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie, pursuant to a duly noticed public hearing held on August 5th, 2020, 7 p.m. at the Town Hall, Town of Poughkeepsie, 1 over Rocker Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, does hereby adopt a local law amending Town Code Chapter 210 entitled Zoning, specifically Section 210-125 entitled Signs Permitted in ATC, SPC, CHCO, CHCO in parentheses EO, MHC, and RRH districts, and to add 210-125-1 entitled Signs Permitted in the MHC district. And be it further enacted that the proposed amendments, with the language to be added underscored and the language to be deleted stricken, which includes some but not all of the modifications suggested by Dutchess County, are attached hereto and incorporated herein, and the town board does hereby waive a verbatim reading of said amendments, and does direct that said amendments be spread across the record as if they had in fact been read verbatim. And be it further enacted that the town board has previously declared its intent to act as a lead agency under the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act, and does declare that said action to be a Type 1 action under the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act, SEQA. And be it further enacted that the town board has reviewed the Long Environmental Assessment Form, EAF, prepared by the Director of Municipal Development, and hereby determines that, 1, the adoption of the herein zoning amendments, including those incorporated after receipt of the county's recommendations, would not have a significant adverse impact, adverse effect on the environment, and 2, a draft environmental impact statement will not be required for the reasons set forth in the attached determination of no significance, and 3, a negative declaration is hereby issued. And be it further enacted, the town clerk notified the clerks of the surrounding municipalities of the public hearing pursuant to General Municipal Law, Section 239NN, and be it further enacted that the legal notice of public hearing was posted on July 17, 2020, and published in the Poughkeepsie Journal on July 22, 2020, and be it further enacted that the Director of Development is requested to forward a report of this board's final action and the reasons for the town not adopting all of the county's recommendations for conditional approval. And be it further enacted that said local law shall take effect immediately upon filing with the Secretary of State. So moved.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any questions in this one? If we do, Mike Welty's here to answer any questions. If anybody has any questions on this amendment?
Hey, Mike,
Yes.
just for me, if you would, can you
Yep.
talk briefly about the further changes that were made and those that weren't, and
Sure.
perhaps why and why not?
Yeah, so in the letter that we received from the county, there were a number of suggestions, but there were 4 specific conditions that they included and as the basis for recommending that you not adopt the amendment as you previously had it. So I reviewed those. I also went over them with Jeff Kane, who I know is on the line tonight from Eastdale Village, and I made several refinements. You know, one of them, the first of the 4, for example, of the 4 conditions, I just made that change straight out. For the second one, they had talked about eliminating a particular subsection, which I did not, but I did add language further down that clarified what the code allows and does not allow, and that I think clears up a misinterpretation of the code that the county had. I did make a change clarifying that signage is only allowed on commercial stories, but we did not change the amount of signage that they had recommended. And lastly, they had recommended basically that no uplighting should be included, but we felt that that's a little bit that there are opportunities to do a nice job with uplighting, and our code has a separate lighting section that does give us quite a bit of ability to ensure that there's no glare or light that splays out across the property line. So we felt with those provisions in our lighting code, we were comfortable with allowing for some uplighting when done well, we think could be kind of nice. So, so again, not all of the specific conditions in the county's recommendations have been addressed, but most of them were. We also looked at some of the other suggestions that they made. For example, one of them was to reduce the maximum height of freestanding signs from 10 feet to 8 feet. And we did incorporate that, even though it was not something they required. So I think we took a close look at their suggestions. We took on the ones that we felt made sense, and that's pretty much it. I do want to point out though that because we didn't include all of their conditions verbatim, we should still have a majority +1 vote in order to pass the text amendment as it's currently proposed. So hopefully that's not a problem, but if you have any questions, please let me know.
Anybody got any other questions for him? And as you stated, it's basically a supermajority vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Thanks,
Thank
Mike.
you.
Be it resolved that following a water leak at a property owned by Margaret Bonacora, a billing credit error occurred, and the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie credits $125 to Margaret Bonacora's account for 39 Inwood Avenue, Poughkeepsie, New York. So moved.
Second?
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Any questions on this one?
I do have a question. When we discussed this, and it was a lengthy discussion, there was nothing mentioned during that discussion about a water leak. I see the water leak when I got this piece of paper, when I got the packet. We were told that our water department applied a payment to the wrong account for this lady.
Correct.
And when they were told about it, they got it back. It was corrected. Subsequent to that, the students who she was renting the property to left Poughkeepsie going home.
Right.
And she was out $125, $25 for each student from, they left with the money from their deposit.
Right.
And she was looking to the town to make up the $125 as a result of our error.
Right.
And we had a lengthy discussion about that. But I don't remember anything in that whole discussion about there being a water leak on the property.
There was no water leak bill on that property. It was on another one of her properties. And I believe it was just included because it could have been part of two things. One, why the billing error occurred, because she has a very large bill as a result of a water leak on a different one of her properties, and also a result of why she didn't catch it immediately, because she is chipping away at a very large bill that is a result of a water leak. So while one doesn't have much to do with the other, they kind of coincide.
Well, I'd be much more comfortable if all the wording about the water leak, if there was an amendment made to take that part out. I'm perfectly okay with the lady who had a billing error get it correct. I understand that part. But I think this resolution is a little misleading. So,
Yeah, it doesn't actually directly have anything to do with the water leak, and it was on a different property, the water leak was.
so
So do you want to just redo it and we'll strike that following a water leak?
Yeah, just
Strike that out.
just strike those 6 words out, that following a water leak at the property.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
billing error occurred, okay.
Or that a property, just
Yeah.
take out following a water leak at,
yeah.
so that it'll say, be it resolved that at a property.
Yeah.
I'll second taking that out.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All those in favor?
Pardon me. Can you tell me who moved and seconded the change?
I
Mike
second.
moved.
I second it. Bill moved it.
Bill moved. Mike
I
seconded.
thought Ann moved it.
Yeah, I'll move it.
Okay.
Ann moved it.
I moved to strike that following a water leak at.
Alright.
Okay.
So moved.
And a motion on the resolution? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Nay. Motion passes 5-2. Item number 4. Mr. Sifon.
Whereas a petition for consent to the incorporation of the Eastdale Village Sewer Works Corp., a proposed New York Transportation Corporation, was presented and duly filed with the clerk of the town of Poughkeepsie, and whereas the petition seeks the approval of this town board for the incorporation and establishment of a sewage works corporation pursuant to Article 10 of the Transportation Corporation's Law of the State of New York, and whereas the secret findings statement by the planning board of the town of Poughkeepsie provides that sewage treatment and transport would be provided by the public sewer system, and the existing sewer treatment and conveyance system would be expanded to accommodate the Eastdale Village development. And whereas the existing sewer district will not serve, construct, or maintain sewer common service lines or grease trap systems, the County of Dutchess Department of Behavioral and Community Health is insisting that common service lines and grease trap systems be owned by a corporation formed under the Transportation Corporation's law. Therefore, a sewage works corporation formed pursuant to the Transportation Corporation's law should own and operate the common service lines and common grease trap systems that are to be constructed to serve the development known generally as Eastdale Village, located on both sides of Dutchess Turnpike, US Route 44, near Darrow Place. And whereas the proposed Eastdale Village Sewage Works Corporation is to own and operate the common service lines and common grease trap systems to be constructed in connection with and to serve the Eastdale Village subdivision. Whereas it appears from the records of the planning board of the town of Poughkeepsie that such proposed development has obtained final subdivision plat and site plan approval from said planning board, and whereas it appears from the face of the petition that the plan and design of the proposed common service lines and grease traps have been approved by the Dutchess County Department of Behavioral and Community Health, and whereas it appears that the creation and operation of the Transportation Corporation will not result in any substantial adverse environmental impacts, and that further environmental review is not required, now therefore be it resolved, the Town Board, Town of Poughkeepsie hereby grants its consent to the incorporation of the Eastdale Village Sewage Works Corp., and authorizes the town supervisor to execute a certificate to be appended to the certificate of incorporation of the Eastdale Village Sewage Works Corp., consenting to its incorporation, and be it further resolved that within 6 weeks of the filing of the certificate of incorporation of the Eastdale Village Sewage Works Corp. Shall submit to the town a security agreement in acceptable form which, 1, guarantees the system will be maintained and operated for at least 5 years with security, therefore 2,000 and an endorsed stock certificate on which the town may foreclose in the event of a breach of security agreement, and be it further resolved that the town reserves the right to exercise this right to approve the rates of the corporation pursuant to the Transportation Corporation Law 121 upon notice and demand, which rates are currently proposed to be charged to tenants as part of the maintenance charges levied by the site's facility manager, and be it further resolved that the town does not require an option to purchase the system. consents to the applicant's request that the town's review charges be paid through the existing project escrow account, and waives its right to require a bond to ensure construction of the system because the town is adequately secured by its ability to withhold certificates of occupancy. So moved.
Second.
Got a motion second. Any questions on that one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Resolution 5, be it resolved that the supervisor is authorized to sign a retention agreement with David Cooper Esquire and Zareen and Steinmetz PC to provide legal services to the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie in relation to the proposed Vassar College Conference Center at the rate of $385 per hour. So moved.
Second.
We got a motion second. Any?
Yeah, I have a question about this, because what if there isn't any lawsuit coming down the road? What if Vassar is not actually, because I had heard the attorney that was upset is no longer with them. So will we be charged for this? There
We're
would
not
be-
paying anyway at all, Ann. This is through the escrow account, through the planning board. And this is basically to help Lisa Cobb on anything that's
Oh,
outside
okay,
of her
so
realm right now.
this is in support of the planning board and not preparation for any possible lawsuit
No.
we may be seeing
No.
from them?
Yep.
Okay, that's fine then.
It's also generally to assist in issues which the town board would be involved in, because
Right.
I can't be involved in that.
But their billable hours are really high too.
Yes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0. Number 6.
Okay, whereas Underhill Solar LLC and Brian A. Underhill, by decommissioning agreement of March 4th, 2018, guaranteed to the town that on the occurrence of certain conditions, they would dismantle and remove a solar facility located on the property of Mr. Brian A. Underhill, the performance of which agreement was to be assured by the provision of a 30-year bond to the town, renewable by the town planning board as to its sufficiency in 5-year intervals. And whereas the town accepted an interim cash security deposit of $115,486.75, and whereas Renew Solar CS4 Fund LLC was advised that it has a series of assignments, assume the economic and voting rights of Underhill Solar LLC, and that it wishes to replace the cash security deposit with a surety bond. Now therefore be resolved that the proposed substitution of a security as part of the ongoing administration of the town will involve no priorities or potential environmental impacts and is not subject to a secret review, and be further resolved, the supervisor and comptroller are authorized to accept a surety bond to release the cash security to the remitter, Cypress Creek Renewables Development LLC, conditioned on the following. 1, receipt of Underhill LLC's written representation that Renew Solar CS4 Fund LLC holds all economic and voting rights in Underhill Solar LLC, and 2, a written presentation by Underhill Solar LLC and Mr. Underhill that decommissioning agreement and the lease between Underhill Solar LLC and Mr. Underhill are and will, upon substitution of security, remain in full force and effect without defense, offset, or claim against the town, and that to each of their knowledge, the project is in compliance with all permits and approval conditions, and 3, tender to the town a surety bond securing the performance of the decommissioning agreement from a surety company authorized to do business in New York with an AM best rating of A, and substantially a Form NX which for surety bonds may pursuant to its term be replaced with alternate security acceptable to the town. All documents to be in form suitable to the supervisor and the attorney of the town. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and second. Any questions on that one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Be it resolved, the town board of Town of Poughkeepsie is hereby accept with regret the retirement of Thomas Myring, Parks, Facilities, and Program Director with the Town of Poughkeepsie, effective August 25th, 2020. So moved.
Second.
Second.
Yeah.
Motion and a second?
Well, actually, I'd just like to say I'm really going to miss seeing Tom go here, and I've known him for an extremely long time. I knew him back when he was with the Boy Scout Council. And my son, who's now 29, was a Cub Scout. So, and Tom's done a great job. He really did a super job with the summer camp program and getting us started up at the senior center. He's going to be missed.
He started out, we needed somebody really bad to pick us up, because we had just, we laid off a lot of people at that time and went private, and he had to start out from scratch, and he did a great job for us, so wish him well in his retirement. And,
Agreed, it's 16 years he was here. He did a phenomenal job, whether it was the day camp, the senior center, bringing back the concerts in the park, the upgrades to the park. We were at Greenville Park last night and just looking around as the concert was going on, looking, the tennis courts have been redone, the basketball courts, the playground. We have the new bathrooms, just all the work you see in the parks. You know, we have over 20 parks, so all this work over 16 years, looking at it day to day doesn't seem to be a lot. When you go to the individual parks and you look at the advancements we made and the outreach and the safety that he done, going through all the different safety issues at the park and different things, and with his crew and rebidding every year, the mowing contracts and so on. He's done a great job and definitely brought the park up to a different grade from where it was before. So I want to thank him for all his years of service, wish him a lot of luck in fishing and hanging out in Ticonderoga on Lake Champlain. Tom, best of luck.
Best of luck.
Agreed.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Opposed?
I told him I was going to vote nay. Nay.
6-1, and Ann's going to help him move.
Resolution 8, whereas the Solar for All campaign is a short-term local effort that guides income-eligible residents to take advantage of a no-cost community solar subscription through New York State Utility Bill Assistance Program, Solar for All, by means of widespread outreach and education, and whereas this model benefits income-eligible homeowners and renters who may not have access to solar, clean energy, and whereas historically Solar for All participants will save on their monthly electricity bill up to $180 per year with no upfront cost, and whereas homeowners and renters who sign up for Solar for All while there is space available will be able to take advantage of a free subscription to community solar, and whereas the New York State Energy Research and Development Authority and Cornell Cooperative Extension, Dutchess County, provide technical assistance, outreach assistance, and other tools and resources to communities in support of Solar for All campaigns, whereas the Town of Poughkeepsie Climate Smart Task Force has brought the Solar for All campaign to the attention of the Town of Poughkeepsie Town Board and encourages the endorsement of the Solar for All campaign. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town of Poughkeepsie supports and endorses the Solar for All campaign. Be it further resolved that the Town of Poughkeepsie stands ready to assist with community outreach and education in support of the Solar for All campaign. So moved.
Second?
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Any questions on this one?
Yeah, because we have also Danielle Salzberg is online from Cornell Cooperative, so if you have any questions. Daniela?
Yep, I'm here if anybody has any
If
questions.
any questions.
Anybody got any questions? I don't know at this time. Because I think Underhill, we had, when they first opened up, they had almost the same kind of campaign, but we reached out during this process with Mrs. Hector and Ann to look to see if they're doing it. They don't think they offer it anymore.
Yeah, and this one too is just mainly for low-income and medium-income people to take advantage of it. They'll see like up to $180 annually off of their electric bill. And then they also can take advantage of feeding solar into the grid, so.
And the other advantage is you don't have to be a homeowner, or a
No.
lot of these are homeowners.
Nope, you
and
don't have to be a
apartment dwellers do it.
Owner, and also too, that everything's already paid for, it's funded by our electric bills, because I actually brought my electric bill in, even though nobody can see it, it says SBC RPS charge line that actually funds this. So we're all contributing anyways, it's nice to see when the money comes back into our community, helping our neighbors.
Right. All those in favor?
If I,
Oh,
Aye.
may I
hold
just
on.
add,
Aye.
I don't know if I'm allowed to, I just wanted to add one point,
Go
if I
ahead.
could.
Talk
Just
louder.
for everyone to be aware that this actually will be.
Can you speak a
done-
little louder, Sue?
Yes, this actually will be, Danielle can confirm, at the array within the town. There's a certain portion of it that's set aside for this kind of campaign. So it's actually going to be very, very local energy production. And I just think it's important for you guys to know that.
Okay. Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Resolution number 9. Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby award the bid for the SCADA system for the Arlington wastewater treatment plant to the low bidder, Aaron Associates of Connecticut, at the bid price of $276,031 pursuant to the recommendation of the town engineer. And be it further resolved that the supervisor is authorized to execute a contract agreement with Aaron Associates of Connecticut. So moved.
Second.
Got a motion second. Any questions on this? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Whereas a project for improvements along US Route 44, the intersections of Cherry Hill Drive, DeGarmo Road, and Barnes Drive, Victory Lane, in the town of Poughkeepsie, Dutchess County, New York, PIN numbers 8MA323.3A, 8MA324.30A, and 8MA325.30A. The project is eligible for funding under the Transportation Law 14-K, which establishes multi-model programs that provide bond funding for capital projects, and whereas it was found necessary to undertake the specific construction work along Route 44, now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby approve above subject projects, and be it resolved that the supervisor of the Town of Poughkeepsie be and is hereby authorized to execute all necessary agreements, certifications, or reimbursement requests for federal aid, multi-model agreement, and/or state aid on behalf of the Town of Poughkeepsie with the New York State Department of Transportation in connection with the advancement or approval of the project and providing for the administration of the project. And further resolve that in addition to the supervisor, the following municipal titles, Town Highway Superintendent, Town Engineer, Town Comptroller, Town Clerk, are also hereby authorized to execute any necessary agreements or certifications on behalf of the Town of Poughkeepsie with the NYSDOT in connection with the advancement or approval of the project identified in the state local agreement, and be it further resolved that a certified copy of this resolution be filed with the New York State Commissioner of Transportation by attaching it to any necessary agreement in connection with the project, and be it further resolved this resolution shall take effect immediately. So moved.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions on this? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes 7-0.
Be resolved, Town Board, Town of Poughkeepsie adopts for use by all town officials the retention and disposition schedule for New York Local Government Records, LGS-1, issued pursuant to Article 57A of the Arts and Cultural Affairs Law, and containing legal minimum retentions for periods for local government records. And be it further resolved that in accordance with this Article 57A, only those records will be disposed of that are described in said retention and disposition schedule for New York Local Government Records, LSG-1, after they have met the minimum retention periods described therein. And B, only those records will be disposed of that do not have sufficient administrative, fiscal, legal, or historical value to merit retention beyond established legal minimum periods. So moved.
Second.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions on that?
This is just something to replace
What you had?
what we had, and it hasn't been updated in 17 years. So it's good, it's good.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Resolution 12 is a notification of the Town of Poughkeepsie Historical Site application for Williams Hall. Do we need to say any more about that, or should
No,
we move on to
that's it.
13?
We're accepting that. That's
Okay.
it.
We're accepting
all
the
right, so
application.
Yep.
Oop,
Number-
sorry, are we going on?
Want to read 13, Matt?
Yeah, sure. The resolution 13, be it resolved that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby authorize the supervisor to sign a professional services agreement with Civic Plus, the proposer which offered the town the best value to develop a website and other community engagement platforms in substantially the form annexed. And be it further resolved that the town board finds this is a type 2 action requiring no environmental review. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions on this one?
Yeah, was there any rate schedule or anything included with this? I didn't see any prices for their services, so.
The total for the whole redoing is like 21,000, and it's 4,800 a year for maintenance. And we had 4 other companies come
Okay.
in. One really wasn't qualified to do a commercial one. The other one was higher, and the third one was a county. And just the way they offered it, the format they had it, we thought this was the best bet for the money.
Okay.
We discussed it with Tim and IT department. Felicia had a little bit of discussion to begin with it. Charlie was in on it
We've been looking at different companies for months.
about the last 6
actually.
months, yeah. So we ironed it down to them. They had, different grade plans. They had, basically silver to platinum plan.
Right.
we
And they
went
do
down
strictly
low.
government websites. so.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0, and we're glad to see we're finally moving forward on this.
Be it resolved that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby accept certificates of attendance for Nicole Giamonte and Ben Paganelli for the 2-hour land use workshop seminar presented by Land Use Law Center, copies of which are attached. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion
Second.
set. Any questions on this?
Ann's getting good at those Italian names now.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0. Number 15, the following claims are referred to legal: Chan versus the town and Humiston Shutter versus the town. That brings us to the end of our agenda. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules for any item for discussion. We ask anybody that's going to discuss anything to please keep it to 3 minutes.
Second.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody like to speak? If not, make a motion to resume the rules.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Now we go on to our committee of the whole report. Finance,
Nothing to report this time.
technology.
Oh, actually, I do have something to report.
No,
I do have something to report. I'm going to be reaching out to the Finance Committee in the next couple of days, try to see everybody's schedule, and we're going to try to set a couple of days up where we could all meet with the department heads and start working on the budget. That's what I got.
Technology,
no report at this time.
recreation.
Yes, okay, summer camp is completed. We had 336 camper weeks and average 55 campers per week, and delighted to say there weren't any incidents. So we're one of the few towns that managed to pull off a summer camp during COVID, and I was really, really impressed. And the only other thing is, we are offering 2 concerts. The last concert was, well, we had a concert last Tuesday, but next Tuesday, August 25th at 6:30 Greenville Park, we're going to have Chain Gang play. And that's it.
Fire advisory,
No report?
infrastructure,
No report.
personnel,
Nothing to report?
building consolidation.
We're working on it.
Okay. Supervisor's report, nothing to report except that we've been in touch with the 2 colleges on the students coming back and on their protocols and procedures. If anybody has any questions that would like to know further, I think Ann has been pretty informed over Vassar. They've sent a lot around. I had a lengthy discussion today, myself and the police department, with Marist College, further detail of their student policies over there. So if anybody has any questions in either one of those, feel free to call, or we'll send over their procedures and their opening policies to anybody that wants to read them. That's all I have at this point. I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session.
Be it resolved, the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby adjourn to executive session to consider the following: discuss matters which are exempt under the open meetings law, including matters subject to attorney-client privilege. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Does everybody have the information?
No. Oh, Jeff, you want to send it over to me?
Sure.
Okay.
All right, we'll see everybody in a few minutes. It's a Zoom meeting. Thank Thanks.